Spoilers for Halloween's end. After being haunted by and fighting masked killer Michael Myers for more than 40 years, Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween heroine Laurie Strode won her final fight for survival in trilogy finale Halloween Ends. However, the finale leaves fans wondering what his happy ending means for her. The new film picks up after the events of 2018's Halloween and 2021's Halloween Kills, with Laurie being shunned in her hometown of Haddonfield because she's blamed for the town's bloody history. She meets Corey, Roham Campbell, a fellow ex-babysitter and trauma victim, who begins dating Laurie's granddaughter Allison, Andy Matashok. But he is swayed by Michael, who has been hiding underground since murdering Laurie's daughter. Laurie ends Corey's bloody reign of terror, and Allison blames her grandmother for his death. Michael, James Jude Courtney, puts on his mask for a brutal kitchen brawl with Laurie. She crucifies him with scissors on a table. Laurie cuts Michael's throat and wrists with a large knife, assisted by Allison, and they watch as he bleeds out. Curtis desired a violent fight that would be this incredible, inevitable blending of these two people physically, according to the actress. There must be intimacy. There's a moment when he's behind her that isn't sexual, but it is intimate. Curtis had called for an all-out brawl, and she didn't want it to look like a movie fight. At one point, I told him, I want him to grab her hair and push her face through the plate glass cabinet on camera. I'm very pleased that this fast and furious contact between these two people has resulted. The filmmakers certainly entertained the idea that Laurie wouldn't survive the fight, according to director David Gordon Green. We messed around with it, he says. The confrontation felt like two survivors, not just two foes. There was a lot at stake. There were times when I didn't know who I wanted to win. Green was ultimately inspired by a line in the script from a scene in which Laurie runs into old friend Frank Hawkins, Will Patton, and there's a spark between them as Frank talks to her about going to see the cherry blossoms. The director found the reference charming, and it inspired him to write an ending in which, after Michael's body is paraded through town and then crushed into pieces in a compactor, Frank and Laurie sit peacefully on a porch as a little callback to that moment of flirtatiousness, according to Green. This somewhat happy ending has one dark note. Laurie appears to have kept Michael's mask while he is gone. When Michael touches Corey early and ends, the villain sees the young man's trauma history through a psychic flashback, which appears to link the two, as Corey embraces his sinister side. Cut to the final fight and a similar scene in which Michael witnesses everything Laurie has been through, all the way back to their initial meeting in John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween. Is this to say Laurie has been infected by the shape of evil? I believe so, Green says. I'm not sure how you couldn't. I guess I'll ask, can that infection be treated? Halloween Ends is ultimately an examination, hopefully entertainingly, of how evil manifests, according to the filmmaker. Whether you're in a hospital or on the subway, you'll see a look in someone's eye that stings you, moves you, affects you, and you walk away with. You have no idea if it is hurt, harm, evil, or what it is. Sometimes it's just your own vulnerability reflecting back at you in someone else's eyes. There's a powerful moment there that's unavoidably contagious. And how we deal with that becomes the topic of discussion after we leave the movie.